Okay, so I just wanted to walk you through everything that I'm going to be doing to this jeans pattern to make it a skort. Looking at my sketch, I'm obviously going to shorten the length of the pants. I'm going for just above the knee, but I gave myself some extra room when figuring out the pattern, just in case. And I'm going to be adding a whole front panel to make it a skort. I'm going to be cutting that out on the fabric using the front panel as a guide. That also means that I will have to split the waistband up into two pieces to be able to have the side seam look clean. And I'm also adding a waistband to the skirt piece as well. So I'm using the Megan Nielson Dawn jean for the base of this pattern, but obviously it would be probably simpler to do this with a less complex pattern. In fact, probably, like an elastic waist pull-on pant would be the easiest because there's no zipper fly. I'm going to be having 2 buttons on this skort, so it's a little complicated. But I have these pants. I know they fit, so that's what I'm going to use. So for the front piece, I needed to close up this pocket area because I'm going to be adding side seam pockets instead of the jean style pockets. So I just used the pocket facing piece and kind of taped it on there to close up this area. And I also, to shorten it, I just kind of folded it up and out of the way because then I can unfold it and untape everything and I'll have my jeans pattern back. So the waistband is pretty much staying the same, except on one side I'm going to cut it off at the side seam and add the seam allowance back in because of how the skirt panel is going to attach to one side seam. Yoke is the same, fly stuff is the same, but I did draft a new pocket piece for my side seam pockets. So I've cut all of my pieces and I've also interfaced all the waistband pieces. And this big piece is the front skirt piece. I left myself a little bit of room, a whole inch around 3 sides, just in case, because you never know. I might end up drafting a facing for this piece just because a curved edge is really annoying to hem. I'm usually not a facing person. I much prefer to hem. So we'll have to see about that. Maybe I'll bind it with bias tape and then I'll have to see. So I'm not going to be going over every step of this process because it is so similar to some pants I previously made, and a lot of the steps are pretty boring. First, I modified my zipper and inserted the zipper and the fly. I decided that side seam pockets would be too thick. This is foreshadowing. So I cut 1 patch pocket for the open side of the skort. So I reused the old pockets for the new pocket lining. Then I sewed up the crotch and finished it with a flat felled seam. Then turned to work on the front skirt panel. I made bias tape to finish the curved edge of the panel. Then I installed the waistband on the skirt portion and the short portion. Now it's time to put it all together and sew the skirt panel to the shorts in one side seam. Okay, I didn't take into account the 6 layers of interface denim I would have to sew through. It's okay, just use the hand crank slowly time for a break, I think. While I'm here making shorts, I thought I wanted to chat a little bit about what it's like wearing shorts while being fat, because that's what I'm all about here. Fat, queer, sewing, shorts. I would say maybe even 2 years ago, I would never leave the house wearing shorts or any garment really that exposed my legs, because I have cellulite and fat legs. Like, that's where I hold my weight. And because of the weight stigma we have in our society, I think about all these things, or I did more in the past, think about all these things before stepping out of my house, you know, when picking my outfit for the day. Like, am I gonna come off as unprofessional? Am I gonna look sloppy in this? And a lot of times it's not even conscious. It's just you look at in the mirror at your outfit, you're like, no, this isn't right. Think like, is this outfit gonna garner comments from random strangers on the street? And I'm like a small to mid fat. I'm not, you know, the comments and the stigma and the discrimination gets worse the bigger you are. And I can make those voices quieter when I'm picking out an outfit, and I have somewhat successfully done that, but they never go away. The only thing that can make those considerations when choosing clothes while fat completely go away would be the reduction of the weight stigma we have in our society and the discrimination against fat people. So if you're fat, or I guess even if you're not, I kind of encourage you to think about what you're uncomfortable wearing and why that is, and see if you can trace it back to some stigma we have in our society, some fashion rule that, you know, you got taught, some norm that you're following. But also be kind to yourself if you still feel uncomfortable wearing those things, because ultimately we can't defeat weight stigma and fat phobia through self-love. It's impossible. Self-love doesn't stop medical discrimination or the intersections of fat phobia and racism and ableism and transphobia. It just doesn't. That is not a burden that only you can bear when picking out your clothes in the morning. The reason I wear shorts now is because I learned that people who are biased against fat folks are gonna have those biases no matter what I wear. I can't change their mind by being acceptably dressed, you know. It's just not gonna happen. And shorts are dang comfortable when it's hot out. When it's 90 degrees with 80% humidity, you bet I'm gonna be wearing some shorts now. So back to the sewing. After taking a very long break, which included flying to my old house, packing up all of my stuff, and driving 2,000 miles to my new house, all in a pandemic, I came back to this project. I reassessed the Skort and decided to sew the side seams of the short together and sew the skirt panel on separately. Then I tested a few buttonhole options, sewed the buttonholes into the waistbands for both buttons, and used fray check to prevent the buttonholes from fraying. I'm using jeans buttons, so I poked a hole where the button will go in the waistbands, and I inserted the back of the button through the hole, and I used some fabric to cushion the front of the button as I used a hammer, or, well, a wrench, to hammer the back of the button. I tried on the Skort with just the front button installed so I could mark the placement of the second side button. I installed that button and then I was done.